This is Dr. Mark Hitchcock. I want to thank you for joining us for another installment of Marking the Times. I really enjoyed these times with you every week where we get together and answer some questions about Bible prophecy or other questions. So again, if you have questions you'd like me to answer, send those into my Facebook page, and love to interact with you on those and try to get to those as quickly as we can. But also like to give some updates about things that are happening in our world today that are setting the stage and foreshadowing what the Bible predicts for the end times. And some of you may have heard about a recent report that came out about some things that are happening over in Europe related to microchips. There's an article that came out just a week or so ago that says alarm over talks to implant UK employees with microchips. Let me just read a little bit of what it says, and I'll make a couple comments about it. It says Britain's biggest employer organization and main trade union body have sounded the alarm over the prospect of British companies implanting staff with microchips to improve security. UK firm Biotech, which offers the implants to businesses and individuals, has already fitted 100 implants in the UK. The tiny chips implanted in the flesh between the thumb and forefinger are similar to those for pets. They enable people to open their front door, access their office, or start their car with a wave of their hand, and can also store medical data. So you can see why a lot of people want these kind of things. I mean, just the simplicity in your life. When you wave your hand, you can do all kinds of things. It says here another company, Biohacks of Sweden, also provides human chips. And I read another article about 4,000 people in Sweden have been fitted with these chips that are about the size of a grain of rice. And they're in discussion with several British legal and financial firms about fitting their employees with microchips, including one major company with hundreds of thousands of employees. And of course, some people like this. Some people are sounding the alarm about it. One thing I thought was interesting is they were talking about how people would then hack someone's body, to get their information off of this. So this is kind of Orwellian kind of stuff that we see happening. And whenever we see things like this, it always brings up the idea for people of the mark of the beast. Now, I always want to say that none of this stuff we see happening is the mark of the beast, obviously, because we're not in the tribulation period yet. That's going to be something that's going to be brought about by the Antichrist. It's going to be 666. It's going to be the number of his name that's on the right hand or the forehead. So nothing we see today is the mark of the beast, but the Bible does tell us when the Antichrist comes, that final world ruler, everyone's going to have to take his mark on the right hand or forehead. We see that in Revelation 13, verses 16 to 18. And what that's going to allow, it's going to allow him to control world commerce and have a world government. And to have something like that, you're going to have control over people's lives. So I don't think any of this is the mark of the beast, but it's the kind of technology that someone's going to have in place to have this kind of global control over people's lives. I think I mentioned this a few weeks ago, but in China, they're implementing a system where everyone gets a social credit score by which they'll control people's lives. How much freedom you have is going to depend on this social credit score, and your social credit score really depends on how much you submit to the government and the rules they have in place. But I read something there that they have 170 million plus security cameras in China. We have about 50 million from best I could tell here in America. So 170 million in China. Their goal by 2020 or 2021 is to have 626 million security cameras in place. And they're going to match that with artificial intelligence and facial recognition, which will basically enable them to find a person within a few minutes wherever they are in China by putting in the data for facial recognition. So we see the kind of control that's coming in people's lives. And these kinds of things foreshadow what the Bible predicts for this coming world ruler, the Antichrist, and this global government, global economy, and global religion that he's going to put in place. And the way that technology is just mushrooming exponentially in the world today, who knows what's going to be on the horizon, on the near horizon for more of these things to control people's lives with robots and all kinds of artificial intelligence. So again, these are the kinds of things that we should expect to see if the coming of the Lord is near. So you can check out a lot of this information on your own. Some of you probably know a lot about this, but it's another sign, I think, that points to the coming of Jesus Christ. Well, I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving this week. God bless you, and we'll see you next time.